Getting exposed to radiation is common. The rays from the sun also emit certain harmful radiations that we are all the time exposed to. However, the amount of these radiations is so small that it has almost negligible effects on our bodies. However, there are some places on Earth which are highly radioactive because of the presence of highly radioactive materials. These high radiations interfere with the human body and lifestyle. You have to be grateful if you don't live near any of these. And be careful if you're interested in traveling to these places. Let's discover the top radioactive places on Earth. The number 1 is Fukushima, Japan. The Pacific coast of Japan experienced an earthquake in the first quarter of 2011. The magnitude of this earthquake was as high as 9.0. This gigantic movement of the tectonic plates under Earth led to a tsunami, which not only destroyed Fukushima, but its big Daiichi nuclear plant also suffered destruction alongside. After this giant natural disaster, the plant was supposed to close. But what happened was surprising. The generators in the plant, which were used to cool the reactors, undergo failure in engagement, and resultantly, it led to a big nuclear meltdown. This resulted in the leakage of radioactive material from the 3 active reactors. Following this incident, many more shocking cases emerged. This involved radioactive knockover in the polluted sewage water storage pool. This incident not only projected its disastrous effects on the area around Fukushima, but also spread to the combined areas of the Pacific coast. Right now, the power plant is completely closed. Scientists think that it will require at least 40 years to dismantle the plant completely. The second most radioactive place on Earth is Chernobyl, Ukraine. The nuclear event of Chernobyl links itself back to mid-1989s. It was the deadliest day in the history of humanity when the world's largest nuclear disasters happened in Ukraine. It started from the explosion of Reactor 4, releasing strong radiations, which were over 100 times more powerful as compared to both the Hiroshima and Nagasaki incendiaries combined. In its rage, its powerful radiations affected more than 6 million innocent lives. Researching in the incident, the scientists believe that the deaths resulting from the nuclear explosion of Chernobyl can be so high that it can take over around 95,000 lives. The most affected area by this disaster is Belarus. Around 70% of the radiations fall on this European country, which resulted in severe thyroid, as well as other types of cancers. There is about 2,600 square kilometers of land which is added into the exclusion zone. This land has completely banned public access. The inhabitants are bound not to visit the area because of the extruding levels of radioactivity. Coming to third most radioactive place, the Polygon. As World War II was going on, the Soviet Union designated an area for the experiments of its weapons, which is known as the Polygon. This area is currently located in the country of Kazakhstan. Between 1949 and 1963, around 400 nuclear weapons were estimated by the scientists to have been tested in the area. Since then, the area is completely uninhabitable. However, sadly, there is still a population of more than 500,000 people inhabiting there. The government has never enforced to clear the area throughout the past decades. There are at least 200,000 people who are still tolerating the radiation-related issues because of continuous exposure to the harmful radiation at some level. However, the area is luckily closed for visitors and outsiders, keeping their safety in mind. Hanford, Washington, USA comes as the 4th most radioactive place on the planet. Side by side, as the Soviet Union tested nuclear bombs in the Polygon, the USA also experimented with radioactive substances during World War II. The US used a highly radioactive substance, plutonium, in the manufacturing of atom bombs in a silent town named Hanford in Washington. These bombing materials, which were manufactured in Hanford, were ultimately used in the nuclear attack of Nagasaki. As the Cold War started, the same plutonium manufacturing plant in Hanford was used in the production of 600,000 more nuclear weapons. Although this plutonium plant of Hanford is deactivated by now, it is still threatening the lives of its people, since it contains more than 2/3 of the USA's highly radioactive waste. Not only in solid, but in liquid forms as well. The radioactive waste produced in the process has polluted about 200 square miles of estimated groundwater in the area. Resultantly, it makes Hanford the most radioactive place overall in the whole United States and fourth in the world. The fifth radioactive place overall is Goiás, Brazil. The story behind the Goiás is one of the most interesting stories. The radioactive waste in this city of Brazil was discovered during a robbery case, linking it back to 1987. Two thieves broke into an abandoned hospital to steal some scrap metal. As they were wandering about in the hospital, they found a cancer treatment machine that contained a blue shining glowing material. The thieves could not stop themselves from digging into it. As the criminals stole that machine, got that material out, and called their friends, relatives, and neighbors to visit and have a sight at this beautiful shiny blue object. This beautiful object was a highly radioactive substance in actuality. So everyone who responded and came curious at the call to catch a sight of the object was exposed to its radiations. Out of all of them, around 250 people got admitted to the hospital, out of which 4 died. Considering the severity of the incident, the Brazilian government came into action and cleaned up the area. However, this unlucky event left a large number of radioactive particles all over the area. So dear fam, if you ever got the chance to visit these places, we recommend you take the best protective measures to reduce your body's exposure to radioactive waves. If you like the video, give us a thumb up. Comment below your thoughts on the video. Share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe InfoSplash for more informational videos.